Who can tell me what numbering system we use? Ah, very good, decimal system. Now, who can tell me why we use a decimal system? Excellent. See, according to Ralph Beard in 1948, he wrote an article saying that back long time ago, when people discovered that we have 10 fingers, we could use these fingers for counting, so it made sense to count things in groups of 10. The problem with that, however, is our world doesn't really revolve around 10. We're kind of trying to force our base 10 system into a world that actually really revolves around 12. And there's actually been many mathematicians and philosophers as early as the 1700s who've been explaining why the base 10 system has so much limitations. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to explain to you all what those limitations are, and address to you why we, as a society, should learn the base 12 system or the decimal system. So in order to do that, we need to understand what a numbering system really means, right? I say we're in the decimal system, we use base 10, but what does that actually mean? Base 10 means that we have 10 digits of which we can work with. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Once we reach up to 9, that is the highest possible digit we can have. So now we can start combining our digits in order to make all the rest of the numbers, right? So we do 1 and 0 to make 10, 1, 1 to make 11, so on and so forth. I'm sure you're all very fluent in how counting works, right? So what does the base 12 system mean then? Well, we actually have 12 digits to work with them, which means we need to add 2 additional digits into the numbering system. So there are plenty of different ways to do this, but Dr. Owen Clayton did all the hard work for us in 2009 and examined all the different methods. And he found out that one of the most widely accepted methods for doing that is called the Dwigham's method, in which we will add the digit for the quantity 10 which will be called dec, which looks like the X, and then the quantity 11 will be the digit called L, which looks like the E. So our digits in base 12 then will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, dec to represent 10, L to represent 11, and then we restart. 1, 0 would be called 12, or in the decimal system, do, which will represent a dozen. And then we just keep on going. Do 1, Do 2, Do 3, Do 4, Do 5, Do 6, Do 7, Do 8, Do 9, Do dec, Do L, and then 2 Do, which would be the quantity 24, but 2 dozen actually. So if you're still following me up to this point, I'm sure you're probably thinking, Adam, this looks so confusing and stupid, and why the hell would we add all this confusion into our lives? Well, I will tell you that actually makes our lives a lot more simple in everyday mathematics. And more importantly, it's going to be a lot more simple to be able to teach kids simple mathematics like multiplication and division. T.J. Gaffney actually wrote a 2010 article demonstrating all of the patterns found in the multiplication chart. Think back to your elementary school trying to memorize the multiplication chart. Was that not like the worst thing ever? The base 12 system, as T.J. Gaffney pointed out, it actually gives a lot more patterns you'll be able to see. Like, for example, look at number 3. If we try and memorize the multiplication chart for 3, there's no actual real distinct pattern to be able to do. We just have to memorize all the different multiples of it, right? But in base 12, it's as simple as just memorizing a certain pattern. 3, 6, 9, 0. 3, 6, 9, 0. 3, 6, 9, 0. That's going to be a whole lot more simple to be able to teach kids. Just memorize certain patterns. And base 12 has so many of them. 4 as well. 4, 8, 0. 4, 8, 0. So what this means now is if we were using the base 12 system, we could figure out any multiple. We could figure out any number if it's a multiple of 4 or 3, as long as it ends in a 3, 6, 9, or 0, or a 4, 8, 0. And there's plenty more patterns found in this system, which I don't have time to get into, but go to the decimal system, decimal.org, and read T.J. Gaffney's article, and they're all there. But the real strength behind base 12 really comes from factors, real division rather. And Dr. James Grime, in a 2012 video, if you know Numberphile, he actually does a perfect way of explaining it. Try and take 1/3. Think of 1/3 right now. What is that? It's 0.3 repeating on forever, right? We can never get an exact 1/3, an exact finite number of 1/3, because it's 0.3 repeating on forever. But in base 12 system, we're taking out of 12. So what's 1/3 of 12? That's just 4. Or 4 out of 1, 0, which is 12, just 0.4. Same thing with a fourth. If we take a quarter out of 12, that's just 3, or 0.3. The half would then become 0.6, so on and so forth. All these fractions that just come out hideous in base 10 just get so nicely cleaned up inside base 12, and it just makes complete sense. Nonetheless, though, our world really already revolves around 12. 12 hours in a clock, 12 months in a year, 12 inches to a foot. I believe the English currency, they still have 12.
No, not anymore.
No? Well, used to. Probably changed it because of base 10, maybe?
Right.
But also bakers and grocers already use 12, and when was the last time you ever went to the store to buy a 10-pack of beer? Nonetheless, the beer inside the packs even are 12 ounces as well. So a lot of critics, however, will go back to, well, what about our 10 fingers? That is such a nice, easy tool. And actually, Professor Gene Zirkle did a study on this. Not a study, he presented this in 1995 in his article. We can actually, base 10, we can count up to 10 on our fingers, but with base 12, we're able to count up to a full gross, a full 144 on our fingers. By using each of our real 4 fingers have 3 different segments, so use our thumb as a pointer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, dec L grow, and then use the other hand to count the sets of 12 that we have, the sets of dozens that we have. So then that'd be 1 set, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, dec L do, 2 sets, so on and so forth, until we get up to do-dos, or a gross for 144. So now comes the change. Is it really realistic to change right now? Is this a whole new revolutionary system that's going to completely change our lives? Not really, not that much, honestly, but it is better, you gotta admit. And it really comes down to the question of, we know we have this better system, but we're not gonna go to it. Why? Just because we're too lazy. So, like I said, it's too unrealistic to completely just drop base 10 right now and start off on base 12. But it is something that we can educate ourselves on, keep on learning to become fluent in both bases, and hopefully within our children's generation, they'll be so fluent in both bases, they'll just completely drop base 10 by themselves, because base 12 really is the better system. Any more information, Dosmo Society of America, dosmo.org, and I really hope you all start learning base 12 and make your life simpler. Thank you.